Welcome to the Champions League semi-final second leg predictions. By the end of this video, me and Thogdad are going to pick the two teams going to Wembley, where somebody is finally going to win this Champions League trophy. What a season it has been. Are you ready, Dad?
I'm ready for Bolton against Barnsley. It's the biggest game of the week.
Tuesday,
but I guess we've got to talk about these little games, haven't we?
Yeah,
like Paris Saint-Germain and Borussia Dortmund. Theo, my goodness, this is a massive one. These are two teams who've played 7 times. And what is interesting about that, Theo, the home team has won 4 times and there have been 3 draws. So the away team never really wins this time. But talk to me about the first leg. You were there, Theo.
I was there at first leg, but before I start, I must kick on with a like target because this is the biggest week of Champions League. I want 10,000 likes on the second channel.
Yes.
If we hit that, I might be giving something very special away on my Wednesday Real Madrid video in collaboration with Live Football Tickets. But let's talk about PSG, the Parisians, at home for the second leg. I'm actually a little bit gutted because if Dortmund had Westfalenstadion for the second leg, I'd favour them, like I did against Atleti. We saw that 4-2 result, they were brilliant. The problem is, historically, at Parc des Princes, even this season, they beat Dortmund 2-0, which would be enough to overturn a 1-0 aggregate. Yes, they don't have Neymar. One of the times they did this over 2 legs in a Champions League knockout, but they've still got Kylian Mbappe. And if he wants to win the Ballon d'Or, if they make a Champions League final, that could be enough to establish that.
Talk to me about that first game, because of course Nicholas Füllkrug got the only goal of the game, and a great one it was.
Yeah, it was a great goal, yeah.
But PSG, they missed so many chances. I came away from that thinking, how is that a clean sheet to Dortmund?
Interestingly, Luis Enrique's got great history in the Champions League. He's always been good at managing the top teams. He'd become the second manager ever to win a treble for 2 different clubs. Do you know the manager that's after?
Go on, tell me.
Pep Guardiola.
Yeah.
No surprises, the best of the best. So, do you see Paris finding a way this time? Because I know there's rumours of Kylian Mbappe going to Real Madrid. It could be their final chance, could it, Dad?
No, it won't be their last chance, Theo.
Why not?
But you make a very good point, because 4 years ago in 2020, PSG got to the final, but in the back of their minds, they must be thinking, we've never won this tournament, whereas Borussia Dortmund have. But they must be very strong favourites here. I looked at their attacking lineup in the first leg, and I just thought they should have scored 2 or 3 goals.
Let's talk about Borussia Dortmund. And just as in 2013, they might have to get through the old rivals Bayern Munich, which they could meet at Wembley. That would be an insane game. But Dortmund first have to hold up their end of the bargain, needing to end a 3-game losing streak to French clubs in France. Edin Terzic has the biggest job of his career. Ashraf, he came inches away. Do you think he's going to have something in and back at home to actually score a chance, Hakimi?
He is a very fine player. One more player I want to talk about, because he impressed me in the first leg, Vitinha, Theo, in central midfield. I think he could be a key player in the second leg. Now, the thing about Borussia Dortmund, we know by far they've got the cheapest squad in this stage of the tournament. They are massive underdogs. But Jadon Sancho, the way he played in that first leg, Theo, he started off shakily, but then he started to play with swagger.
Sancho looked relaxed, and that's key in a Champions League semi-final. It depends how these Dortmund players walk out there. Will they be shook? Will they be thinking we're stepping above our weight here? We couldn't even qualify for Champions League football if we weren't given the extra space of the coefficient, which of course they're 5th in the Bundesliga. If they turn it on, they've got a great chance. For Borussia Dortmund, who apart from Jadon Sancho is in there that can make this game? Because Sabitzer was brilliant in the rounds. Let's talk about his finishing goal. Julian Brandt is always close. He seems to be in the right place at the right time and really understands it. And of course, Dad, I'm going to mention it now. Marco Reus. He's retiring at the end of the season. Well, he's also hanging up the boots for Dortmund. The only player in the 2013 final left. And imagine 2024 season, he wins the Champions League. Here's my prediction. Should I go first?
Go for it, Theo.
I'll go first. First half, PSG 1-0. They score that goal. It's back to equal, and they're at home. I think the goal will come from Kolo Muani. It won't be Kylian Mbappe. Then the second half comes, and Sancho will equalise. 1-1 draw, 2-1 in aggregate, sending Dortmund, the first team, to Wembley, the Champions League final, a repeat of 2013.
Wow, and I kind of agree to you. I don't think PSG will win the final, but I reckon they'll get there. I think they're just that little bit too much. This is going to be a clean sheet for PSG. They're going to score 2 goals. 2-0 after 90 minutes.
Wow, it's almost like you're wearing a PSG shirt, Dad.
And the Wednesday game is Real Madrid against Bayern Munich. 2 teams who've won this tournament,
Massive
20
game.
times between them. This is the most played game in this tournament. It's probably the biggest game of the year so far, Theo. Let's talk about that first leg, because I thought it was absolutely incredible. It was a 2-2 draw. You were there, Theo.
I was there.
It was all about Vinny Jr. getting the first goal and the last goal. Talk me through that experience there.
It was spectacular. Allianz Arena rocking, and actually one of the greatest Champions League nights I've ever been to. Yeah. And the way Vinicius just literally silenced that crowd, made the Real Madrid fans at the top of the stadium go wild. And I actually think either of these teams could make the final. That's what makes this video so difficult.
Now, Real Madrid, let's look at their record, because the last 11 games they've played in this tournament, won 7 and drawn 4. So they're unbeaten for a long, long time, aren't they? Carlo Ancelotti, because if you look at the last 9 games that he's had, won 6 and drawn 3. That is a record in the tournament. And another record, if he wins this game, he'll get to his 6th UCL final. That's also a record.
He understands how to win at this stage, and the problem is Thomas Tuchel does too. He won it with a Chelsea team that should have never won that final against Manchester City. Tommy Tuchel can make dreams happen. And I think that's what Bayern need right now.
He's also going for a record, because he's been in the final with PSG and with Chelsea, and now he wants to be there with Bayern Munich. That's a record of his own. But I want to talk about some of the players, because Jude Bellingham, I've got to say, disappointed in the first leg. I thought he was a bit quiet.
Bellingham did things that a lot of fans won't pick up on. It's not always about scoring. Okay, maybe next game he went to El Clasico, scored the winner at Bernabeu.
Nobody doubts his talent, but a lot of people were watching that game thinking, okay, where's Jude Bellingham? Let's have our eyes on him, Theo. And he's a wonderful player, and I know that. The man who really shone for me was not even the goal scorer. It was Toni Kroos. I thought he was remarkable. He had about 100 touches, 3 key passes. He was brilliant, aged 34.
Do you know, I know we spoke about Ballon d'Or with Mbappe, but could we argue that the winner of this fixture, over 90 minutes, or maybe extra time if it's needed, because it's a draw right now, if Real Madrid go to the Champions League final, Bellingham deserves the Ballon d'Or. But if Bayern Munich go to the Champions League final, Harry Kane. So we're talking about some big battles here. A lot of people says that Kane doesn't clutch up in these big moments. And maybe in England late stages, Tottenham late stages of the Premier League when they had big chances, he didn't. But imagine he went to the Bernabeu and scored a screamer. Because I think that could be on the cards.
In that first leg, I thought he was magnificent.
He scored a penalty.
He didn't just score his penalty, but he had a number of really key passes.
You texted me during the game saying Harry Kane's unbelievable. I was watching the game
Man of the match.
I was watching the game thinking, well, but Leroy Sané scored the most incredible cut-in goal, and Bayern as a team, I thought Eric Dyer was pretty good. I thought Kim Min-jae left down the Bayern team.
But we've got to talk about Vinny Jr. We've already mentioned he got both the goals. He's already got 5 goals and 5 assists in this tournament so far. Tell me what it was like watching him up close.
In a flash, he's cut through a whole defence. He's got a second sense of when Toni Kroos is playing the ball through. He's there. He's just has to be the keeper.
You've got to look back at the last 8 games between these sides. Twice was a draw and 6 times it was won by Real Madrid. And also, Theo, 16 consecutive games of Bayern Munich against Real Madrid without a clean sheet. So if you look at that stat, you say Real Madrid will score.
I can see a very similar outcome to the first leg in terms of the first 90 minutes. I believe another 2-2 draw is on the cards. I can see Real Madrid scoring first and then Bayern responding. Kane will get a screamer as one of those 2 goals for Bayern. Then in extra time, I can see no goals. And at penalties, I think Bayern Munich are going to find a way through. I'm backing Bayern to go to the final to face Borussia Dortmund. An all-German Wembley final. You are welcome. Am I crazy?
That is an enormous shout, Theo. I think the key moment over 3 hours of this tie will be when Bayern Munich allowed Real Madrid to equalise. Bayern Munich will score. I think the problem is that Real Madrid will score twice. In 90 minutes, I think, Real Madrid will win this 2-1. They're going through in 90, so I think the final will be no German team.
You think it's Madrid against PSG, and I think it's Dortmund against Bayern. The comments are going to decide the Wembley final. Let me know what you guys think it is. And remember, 10,000 likes will have a very special giveaway on my Wednesday Madrid video. Stay tuned, stay on the Thogden YouTube channel. Notifications have to be on because you need to be alert when we announce it. Take care, bye-bye.